Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Santosh from BTech first year of Mechanical Department, and my topic name is what is while loop and for loop. Before going to discuss about the while loop and for loop, we discuss about what is a loop. Loops are looping a programming concept that allow the repeat execution of a block of code. They help automatically repeat the tasks efficiently. That means the given source repeat for several times without any errors. Understanding loop is efficiently for writing efficient and cosine program. Basically, loops are two types: while loop and for loop. Let us discuss about the while loop. What is a while loop? While loop is a repeat a block of code as long as specific condition is true. That means in the specific condition the value become the true, the condition will stop and print the results. The condition evolves before each iteration. The condition will apply for every iteration before going to the processing the program. It is used when the number of iteration is not known before the handling. While loop is generally used for the reading input, waiting for the output, or checking conditions repeatedly. Compared to for loop, often more flexibility when the working with a table. The while loop is a program when we are writing the program and we have to repeat the source program for several times. And we use the while loop. And while loop help read the program for several times without any errors. Let us discuss about the syntax for the while loop. The basic syntax include the keywords while following the condition and a block of code. The condition must be evolved to the points value. The loop condition excluding until the condition becomes the false. That means when the condition becomes false, the program stop and print the results. Example for the while loop. Counting from 1 to 5 using a while loop. The loop increment or decrement variation until the reach the value. When the value reaches the 5, the program print the results. Implementation of the loop condition repeatedly. Repeat. In while loop program, we will write the program for several times and know whether the condition become true or repeat the several times. What is a for loop? A for loop repeat a block of code specific condition or overall sequence. It typically include the initialization condition, increment or decrement. For a loop often is when the number of iteration known. In while loop, we don't know the number of iteration before handling the program. But in for loop, we know the iteration how to handle the before handling the program. Need the loop can be used for the table, matrices, and pattern. In for loop, we use a tables, matrices, and pattern. But in while loop, we input the program from the user. Compared to while loop or for loop, is better to range and repeat a fixed periodic table. Let us discuss about the syntax for the for loop. The syntax involves the loop indentation, condition, and update expression. That means the syntax must be important for every loop, for not only while loop, it is required for the for loop also. Example: for int I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus in base languages. The loop is good for exclusion value variation within the specific condition. In while loop we repeat the entire source program for several times. But in for loop we repeat the particular source code for the several times only. That is the difference between the for loop and while loop. Example for the while loop. Printing numbers from 0 to 9 using a for loop program. The loop automatically updates the counting variation after each iteration. When we print the 0, it added the 1 after and 1 will plus and the program will be repeated for several times. When the program will get true, the stop the program will print the result. It is specified code when the iteration over the ranges are the collections only. Difference between while loop and the for loop. While loop as a performs when the difference between number of iteration is known as for while loop is ideally defined that reason counting over the sequence. Both loops are required carefully conditioned to avoid the initialization loop. As we know that while loop and while loop. In while loop we repeat the entire source program for several times. But in for loop we repeat only particular source program only. That is the difference between the while loop and while loop. Particular use of the tips. Use a while loop for input variation or waiting the condition to the changes. Use for the loop when the iteration over the arrays condition and arranges. In while loop we use a condition to the changes, but in for loop we use arrays, collections or ranges. always include the terminating condition to prevent the infinitive loops. Reference: Introduction to the Programming Loops. Program basically October 2022. Loops condition statement. Greeks for the Greeks. Python loops officially Python documentary. Thank you.